Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back to bring you guys another video today. So in this video, it's all about Nvidia. Nvidia just reported earnings a couple hours ago, and Nvidia's been the talk of the town over the last 2-3 weeks, let's say. Obviously, you guys know, for those of you who are in the stock market, this has been one of the stocks which has been constantly banged on about, and people were expecting crazy moves to the upside, to the downside. But as they reported earnings, we're going to go through all the numbers, we're going to run the numbers, we're going to talk about the expectations, the actuals, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to talk about my thoughts on it, what I think is going to come in the near future, what they need to do, those sort of things. Now, before I get into that, do me a favor, go check out the second link in the description. That is the stock option starter pack. It talks about how I trade, how I've traded, how you can trade, how you can learn to trade, all that kind of stuff. It's got the ins and outs of stock options. Second thing, drop a thumbs up on this video. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. So Nvidia just reported earnings, as I said. The first thing we're going to do, I have the chart up on screen here. You can see it's up $48 after hours, and you're probably thinking, oh, good, big jump. Well, hold your horses. Like I said, let's go and discuss the numbers. Let's see what they reported. Let's first of all jump over to investing.com and let's see the numbers for themselves. Of course, headline there is Nvidia. As I said, it's the main topic right now, so talk of the town. So Nvidia guidance tops estimates as AI-led chip demands continues. Shares jump. Yep, okay. Let's be honest, we expected the shares to move up, not completely jump, but we expected them to beat and the shares to move up. So, okay. Nvidia reported Wednesday better than expected guidance, fiscal fourth quarter, blah, 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 surge in demand for chips. Nvidia rose 6% after hours. This is what I just showed you. So, here's the numbers. So, for Q4 2023, they announced an earning per share of $5.16. The expectation was $4.64. The expected revenue was $20.55 billion to $20.6 billion, and they announced $22.1 billion. Now, before I get into the numbers in this regard, like I said, we expected them to beat both of these. Just to put it in comparison and to put it in context, this time last year, so when they're reporting for Q4 earnings, they had an expectation of $6 billion. Now the expectation has jumped to $20 billion, and they've obviously reported $22.1 billion. So you just see so far how far this stock has come, how far Nvidia has come as a company. Now, added to that, you see the data center, there was a gauge of AI demand, so that saw revenue jump to $18.4 billion, where the expectation was $17.06 billion to $17.1 billion. And again, this is huge news in regards to what they're doing with the data center. Now, personally, from what I see with this stock, they've got tricks. They've got a bright future. They've got a lot going on, and again, if we see new products, we see new news on generative AI, more demand for the data center, we could see this stock start hitting 900, 1,000 very soon. If we hear about them building their own clouds, we see the stock hit 900, 1,000, within the next few weeks. That is possible. But what we've read here, most of what we read here in regards to revenue, earnings per share, we expected them to beat the earnings. We expected them to beat revenue. We expected them to shine, let's say. But like I said, we're going to get into, why I don't think that, any of this was a surprise. And yeah, So if we look at the stock price, let's go to the chart. This stock is up about 45% from last quarter. So that's 45% from somewhere here, right? Okay. 45% from when it was $425. It's up 265% year over year. And it now has a 1.8 trillion or $1.7 trillion market cap. Remember, it's now the third most valuable stock on the stock market. So, in regards to expectations, okay, 4.6 expectations and you hit 5.1 actual. $20 billion expectation, you hit $22 actual. To be honest, when I heard the expectations were $20.55 billion, my expectations were they were going to hit between 22 and 24 billion, but I was honestly thinking they'll be closer to the 23 billion. So them coming in at 22 billion, yes, they've beat expectations, but in my opinion, they haven't done anything crazy. We knew they're going to beat expectations. You've seen the news over the last few weeks. You've seen all the positive news, the hype regarding Nvidia. So that's all great. But, and I want to jump over to another website, Market Watch. SPY almost 500 after hours. Interesting. And I'm going to talk about how I think Nvidia will affect the overall market as well tomorrow. So again, Nvidia stock rockets upon earnings beat as AI demand hits tipping point. Okay. Fundamentally, the conditions are excellent for continued growth. That is the kind of thing we want to hear, kind of thing we want to see. We want to make sure that this growth is not just stopping and topping at Q4 2023 or Q1 2024. We want to hear that this is going to continue for years to come. So yeah, again, data center revenue increased by over 400% in regards to the year before. Forecast continue strong, the usual, and then it's a buy opportunity, blah, blah, blah. All right, I want to go to the stock charts now. So I'm on TradingView, okay. So we're up 50 points. 50 points is pretty good in theory, but and this is the thing here. This is why I say don't get too carried away. When you compare it to what the amount Nvidia dropped over the last 2-3 days, it's dropped from highs of 743 all the way down to around 667, I'm going to say. You can see the number there yourself. I'm going to say 667. Don't deal with those things. Now, that's like a $75 drop there. That's a huge drop for a stock like Nvidia after how well it's been doing in the last few weeks. That's a huge drop. So when it jumps up 50 points, less than 50 points, and is this even going to hold? When it jumps up 50 points, I'm not surprised. They beat expectations, they beat earnings. Great. The stock's rebounded by jumping up 50 points in comparison to a $74, $75 drop. Nothing too special. Now, if you're in calls or puts or whatever, your options tomorrow aren't going to open at a nice price point, especially for those of you who are in calls, $800, $900, those crazy amounts. And if you look at the call spread and the prices of the contracts, I don't know if you're buying $750 or even anything less than that in any of those calls. You're not going to pay $1,000 for one contract. I don't think you are, at least. If you are, then good on you. But there's a lot better opportunities. So anyway, like I said, the sell-off over the last 2 days was crazy. So this move to the upside is bringing us back to kind of where we were just a week ago, even last Friday. It's not a crazy move in regards to what we expected or what many people expected. I didn't expect a crazy move. I said maybe 70 points max, which yes, sounds crazy, but in regards to what Nvidia has been doing, it isn't crazy, especially when you're reporting earnings. Come on, I mean, some of these stocks jump 100, 120 points when it comes to earnings. Nvidia, that's been jumping like crazy, you'd expect a bigger jump. So 50 points isn't a crazy move. 7%, obviously it's nice for the stock to be back where it was a week ago. But again, as I mentioned in regards to the numbers, the Q4 wasn't nothing crazy in regards to what we all had expected. We've seen positive news. We've seen what they're doing with AI, generative AI. Great. Now, it sounds like I'm negative or, talking down on stock. No, they beat earnings. Well done to them. We expected that. They got the job done. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. They got the job done. There was no negative surprises. But now, going forward, let's look at the tech. Let's look at what they're going to do, what I expect as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, you've seen us push, keep pushing. What do we need to do to keep pushing? Well, first of all, we need to get good news from the CEO. When you're telling us that, you're expecting continued growth, excellent growth for years to come, that's a good sign. If you're telling me you've got new products, you've got better news on generative AI, you've got more news in regards to the data center demand, the demand there is increasing, you've got more news about you building your own clouds, all that kind of stuff. Okay, then I might be interested. Then I might say, all right, this stock is going to hit 900, 1,000 by March. Maybe yes. But if you are looking at this stock and you're just going off, retail hype, just be careful. That's what I would say. Don't get your hopes up and then, you're stuck in an Nvidia that's only moving to, $800, let's say, in a month, and you wanted it to move to 900, none of that crazy stuff. Don't expect too much from it. But overall, this stock, this company is great. It's a great company. It's got a bright future. We're seeing the potential, traded in this channel for a while, broke out a channel and just continued pushing. Now it's pulling on back to the moving average, but tomorrow when we open, we'll be up above both moving averages. So that is good. And then in regards to the market, how I think this will affect the market. First, I want to look at some other tech. I'm going to start with Palo Alto because they reported earnings yesterday. So Palo Alto dropped 30%. overnight pretty much. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you'll see this. Yeah, there we go. 40% drop. So for a stock like Palo Alto to lose a third of its market share, that is very crazy. You know, that is very crazy. To lose over a third of your market share in a day, that is very crazy, especially an established company like Palo Alto. So, you know, look at all the different softwares. Look at the different software companies, Palo Alto. Look at the different tech companies as well. I mean, you got AMD there. What's up? How much now? Probably 2.5%, something like that. It's up 3%, fair. AMD, you've got Intel. The reason I'm showing you these is because these are, let's say, lagging behind Nvidia. You look at what Nvidia has been doing. Okay, ARM is up 5%. That's positive. That's solid. But then again, going back to AMD, if you're looking for a cheaper way to play Nvidia, you can look at AMD. It's up 3% right now. That's decent. You know, especially since last few days it has been selling off a little bit, back up to 170. Could we be trading calls if it continues pushing? If Nvidia keeps pushing, we could be trading AMD calls. And Nvidia might actually start dragging SPY up because you're going to get hype around the other stocks, and they're going to say, yeah, this is bullish sentiment. This is good for the market. Nvidia is one of the, well, again, the third biggest market capitalization on the market right now. There we go. It's 499 SPY, pushing to 500. We'll probably see 500 tomorrow. We might touch 500 and sell off, or we might just break straight through 500. But again, if the market pushes up tomorrow, which I think it will, we'll have a green day. Also, because of how price action has been over the last couple of days, look, from Friday till now, so today, we saw like a $7 drop, but it wasn't a straight drop. It was kind of choppy in between. If you pull up smaller time frames, you'll see this. There you go. It wasn't necessarily a straight drop. We dropped. In fact, we pushed, sold off, pushed up, sold off, and then flew at the end of the day today. My expectations are the market continues pushing tomorrow. I think this Nvidia news has really helped it, and you'll see that have an effect on stocks like Tesla, which, by the way, we traded today to the downside. I'll just pull up what I did with Tesla. I got into the $195 puts. I'll just pull that one up. Yeah, so you can kind of see what I did with this one. And if you look at the chart, it was pretty simple trade. Tesla pushed up at open, sold off, moving averages crossing to the downside, got a chance to get in on a retest of the moving averages, and it just started to break down, eventually leaving with just over $500. So it was a successful trading day. You know, $500 a day, if you can do that consistently, it will take you very far. So of course we could have got a bit more out of that. We left a bit of money on the table, but honestly, I'm happy with that. Now I actually just realized I just got distracted from Palo Alto earlier. Reason I pulled up Palo Alto actually, sorry about that. Yeah, I said it lost a third of its market cap in one day. They reported earnings yesterday. And what I want to highlight with this is they slightly missed, very slightly missed. And look at what the stock did. It tanked. So the reason I'm pointing that out is a stock like Palo Alto in the software sector shouldn't really be dropping that hard just by slightly missing expectations. You might see a 5-10% drop, which is still a big drop, but 30% drop, losing 30% of your market share is very crazy. The reason I say that is because right now the bar is high. Nvidia has set the bar high for all these stocks, for Palo Alto, for Snowflake, for Intel, for AMD. Nvidia is setting the bar extremely high. So if you want to impress right now, you need to bring something to the table. You need to bring real news to the table. You need to show us what you're doing with AI. You need to bring us, reason to believe. If you're slightly missing expectations, people are like, you know what, I'm selling out. Nvidia has seen selling pressure going into earnings and then rose through earnings just by beating earnings expectations. Palo Alto, on the other hand, slightly misses and completely tanks. There you kind of see what I mean when I say these earnings plays are very crazy and you just need to be able to be prepared for anything. But yeah, that was just kind of it for what we did today. We also traded Oxy and Exxon to the upside, just to lastly touch on those briefly before I close out. So Oxy pushed as we expected, Exxon pushed as we expected. I got the $59 calls for Oxy. They are obviously in the money now and they are also up, I think, around 67%. So that's good. Very simple chart. Consolidated for a little bit, broke out, pulled back the moving averages, broke out again, and continued uptrending for the rest of the day. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on Nvidia. I think we've got a bright future there. We just need to keep hearing the good news. We need to keep hearing how they're innovating, all that kind of stuff. And as I said, the bar is high now. Any stock reporting earnings, especially in that software space, tech, cloud, you need to bring something to the game. You need to impress us, wow us, show us what you're doing different. Show us how you are unique. Otherwise, you're going to sell off like Palo Alto. No one wants to be a Palo Alto right now after what's happened in the last 24 hours. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, remember to show your support by dropping a thumbs up. It is much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here. Hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. And of course, share with your friends. And lastly, check out the links in the description below. You have my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter there. You have my Royal Trading Academy. That is the first link in the description. That is the Discord where we live trade every day. And of course, you also have the Stock Option Starter Pack, as I mentioned. So that's 10 videos where you have access to all, my trading tricks and tips and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah. So that's it from me, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I got into making, you got into making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.